Hello, everybody. Just thought I'd make a little tutorial about the Five Senses Lab that we are doing today, and then today in class, and today with my remote, and then also Friday with my white group. So anyway, the Five Senses Lab, investigating senses, sight, touch, and taste. So I want you to read through the background information, and they talk about different sense receptors that our bodies have, how a lot of those sense receptors are specific, like my eyes help me see, my eyes can't help me hear or smell, my ears can't help me see, so they're specific. And then we also talked about a lot of the touch receptors we have in our skin. We are not going to do a lot of portion of this lab, so I did make some changes. I crossed out a lot of the taste stuff that we are not going to do it the way it is in this lab. I'm going to change it up a little bit when I see you guys next Monday. The first one is the eye test. Now, most times you're 20/20, you're 20 feet apart for an eye chart, but the eye chart that I posted and the one that I used in my classroom is set for 10 feet. So it's set for 10 feet, and it also, so it has a different rows on the sides here, and it has what kind of seeing that is, what your score is. If you can see the bottom row, it's 20/20. So I want you to do that at about 10 paces, 10 feet if you can measure it, and see what row you can read with your, I just had everyone read through the whole thing. If a row was blurry, they had to write what row it was, first covering their left eye and then covering their right eye. You had to then record what your vision was in each. So if you could read everything, you would have 20/20 vision for right and left eye. The second part referred to using a dominant eye. So you have to look at something on the other side of the room, make a little circle with your first finger and thumb, and look at something through that circle. Then if you cover one eye, then cover the other eye, you need to make note of which eye was the one that saw through the circle. That would be your dominant eye. For me, I can see the thing across the room through the circle with my left eye open. So my left eye, which is not the normal, see, in most people, the right eye is dominant. But for me, it was actually the left eye. Normally, mine was left eye. The next thing you had to do was look for your blind spot in your eye. Now, our eyes, because of where the optic nerve is, this is all the different, our field of vision here. These are all the nerves that are going to send it to the optic nerve, which sends it to our brain. Well, that spot where the optic nerve is in our eye is actually a blind spot. So normally there's no blind spot because we have two eyes. So if one eye doesn't see it, the other eye does. So I was joking, if you're Nick Fury or you have a patch over one eye, actually sometimes you can't see certain things. The first thing, so what we're going to do to show you the blind spot is you're going to need to take that paper. I'm just basically reading what it has you do in the lab here. So you're going to take that paper, cover your left eye, and look at the star. And you pull that paper away. Eventually, if you pull it away slowly enough, bam, that's where it disappears for me. And I told everyone it was about the length of a ruler, about 30 centimeters is when that blind spot occurs. Then you switch roles, cover your right eye, but this time you're going to look at the circle and you pull it away, and disappeared at that same distance, about 30 centimeters away. That's your blind spot. That is the end of the sight portion. The last portion that you had to do in class was touch. So one partner was blindfolded, and then we used 2 toothpicks. So using 2 toothpicks, we gently, by the way, in the data table here, I crossed off lip. You are not going to touch each other's lips. We're wearing masks and everything. So what you're going to do is you're going to have, so I kind of made a picture of a hand here. So you're going to hold, this is the back of the hand, you're going to hold these toothpicks right next to each other. You're going to touch. Then you're going to go slightly further apart and slightly further apart and slightly further apart. And when the person who is blindfolded thinks that they can feel 2 pricks as opposed to 1 prick. Because when they're close together, you're probably only going to feel 1 prick. The further apart, when they say they could feel two toothpicks, you're going to kind of guesstimate what the distance was for this. And the small little lines are millimeters in the ruler. And you're going to write down how many millimeters away you can feel the 2 toothpicks. Now, I'll give you a little hint on it. We have the most sensitive touch receptors in our fingertip. So the fingertip is the one where you should actually feel it the closest, because that's the most touch receptors we have are in our fingerprints. We are going to stop here for today. And the taste receptors portion, we're actually not going to do this taste receptors portion. We're going to do that Monday, remote only. We're going to discuss tasting things in our house and how it relates to smelling too, because you need that sense of smell to be able to taste. So just wanted to walk you through the 5 senses lab. Good luck.